Yeah, by the way, to the earlier comment about seeing that too, she's jealous of
What are you talking about?
When Charlie and I were hitting the road together, just so you guys know, here's a fun fact. I had a boyfriend. I had a whole boyfriend that I was nowhere near Charlie's type.
And Charlie was nowhere near mine.
This girl's a fat Jew. Who gives a fuck?
All cheating scenarios, 100% of the blame is always on the female. That's when you put some makeup on, do some burpees, you go, gut.
I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. I got liposuction.
And then you were like, how far did Hitler live from Holocaust?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Sat next to you. You basically said nothing to me.
Did what I've done for the past 6 years. Literally nothing romantic had been said up to this point.
Howdy ho there, neighbors. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Edie. I hope you're all having a fantastic Monday. Did you make it through the workday? Did anything embarrassing happen to anyone? I'll tell you a quick story and then we'll hop into things. I know I tend to ramble on at the beginning of my videos. I'm trying to work on that. But do you like my story? I was leaving Ulta and I was coming around the bend to my car door. I was no longer in motion. And I twisted my ankle and I thought, oh, it's not going to twist all the way. And it did that thing where the slide, bottom line, I nearly fell down just standing still. And people were there. People saw this. They saw it happen. And they heard the dialogue that I had with myself. Like my new chocolate? Ooh. I wish I had had this wig when I did Wonder Woman, because I had to chop up a wig that was just way... Anyway, the photos are on my Instagram. So, we are going to be reacting to another old Candy clip, another old interview with her and her BFF, Andy Tate. Wherein they're both wearing awful loafers, awful pilgrim loafers. Andrew's wearing the tightest cardigan. It's like they couldn't have found him a tighter shirt. They checked probably. They couldn't have found him a tighter shirt or a tighter cardigan. Nobody better ever come to me about my tops being too tight. When this fella, I could see everything he had, top to bottom, top to bottom. You guys want to come for me? No. First is a Candy clip, and then we're going to move on to Candy's baby goddaddy, Michael Knowles. I had hope for his episode, or the at least the piece he did on Andrew Tate. I thought he was really going to, well, I thought he was going to surprise me, and he did. He did.
All right, guys, welcome to another special episode of Candace. Here's my theory. I believe that the elites are aiming for clinical retardation. I'm not kidding. I believe that if somebody produced a study right now and said, don't drink water, 50% of people in the world would perish. They would die because they would suddenly just stop drinking water because the data says don't drink water. And obviously, I've showed you guys many times in my podcast, my favorite clip on the internet this year, because it explains exactly my philosophy in life. It's the reason why we designed the second edition of the Candace Cups to say, don't care, built different. It's very important for you guys to take a listen to Andrew Tate explaining what we can garner from the data, as he says. Take a listen.
I'm glad I'm super rich. You know, now that I'm super rich, I get to be one of those crazy rich guys who acts unusual. And they're like, oh, he's a bit eccentric, but he's rich, so he gets away with it. Like wearing a microphone on his chest. Everyone else puts a suit on, hides the microphone. I'm like, get a microphone, bruv. Don't care. Built different. Don't care. One of my habits now is ignoring all data. It's great. I love when people come to me and say, actually, we've got the data to prove what, you little What are you going to prove to me? I can prove to you that the ice caps are melting. There's ice in my water right now. I'm going to leave the water unattended until the ice melts. Will the water overflow out of the cup? No. Why are all the richest, most important people in the world who are pushing this scam buying beachfront homes? Oh, but the data says... The data's from the Matrix, and you are the Matrix!
Of all the clips that you could have played, you chose that one to open your show with? And you designed merchandise based off of that? A half-naked man sitting like a peacock with a microphone on his bare chest? You chose that, Candace. You're weird. Can someone just explain to me why he was sitting like that? And were his boxers silk? Women out there... Am I built different? Because I don't find anything about that appealing. Do you women find that appealing? Put it in the chat if you find that appealing. Silky boxers and a hairless chest, sitting like a peacock with a microphone draped over his shoulder, talking really, really weird. Can you tell me if you find that attractive? I guess I'm old school. I'm a throwback, okay? I like a manly man, you know, because I grew up with, I'm a millennial, as I've said many a time, I'm a millennial. I grew up looking to Greg Vaughn. You guys remember Greg Vaughn? He's still a beauty. Oh my word. That was back in the 90s where the slacks were loose, sat nicely on their waist with a belt and a loose but not too loose dress shirt and tie with that 90s hair. Oh my gosh. It's taking me back. Take me back. How did we get here? That ain't a man. And he doesn't work. He has people work for, listen, I need a man that knows how to swing a hammer, know how to work a drill, because I can't do any of that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I am all about the gender roles. Girls, you've been lied to thinking that, you've been made to think that those are bad. That's a bad phrase, gender roles. It's not. It is so fantastic. I want to cook for you. If you're with me, just know that while you're out there swinging your hammer and drilling, building things, let's say you have to work multiple jobs, honey, you don't have to worry about things on the home front. Oh, honey, you do not have to lift a finger when you walk through this door. I want to cater to you. Okay? I want to cater to you. And I want to take care of you because you're important. Men are important. They play an important role in society. Important. I'm going to make a shirt that says men are important. I support the patriarchy. Yes. Biblical masculinity is where it's at. This is not masculinity. Are you and I going to have a problem? This is not what it means to be a man. You men out there, young men, if you're watching. That's not, don't aspire to be that. It's not appealing. He looks like, I don't like this phrase, but he looks like a D-bag. You know, I don't like to say that word. He's feminine. Why are your pants tighter than my pants? Why do you have cleavage in this purple satin button down that you have on, that you got arrested in? Unfortunate. Can someone answer me that? Answer me. How? That's not masculine. If it came down to it, you know, there was an apocalypse and you really needed someone to go out and hunt for you. Do you think that he knows what to do? What are you going to use, the lover boy method on the big moose that's out there? Is that what people hunt? You going to use the lover boy method to lure in, you know, a deer so you can kill it and bring it home for supper? Are you going to lure the fish downstream and say, come on over here, fish? Why am I doing that? I don't know. This guy is really, I was just curious. Women, do you find that appealing? Do you want to like submit to that? Submission, I love submission. Biblical submission, again, beautiful. We talked about this in Bible study a couple weeks ago. He gives submission a bad name. He's the one who makes women like want to rebel and say, I'm not going to submit to that. You're going to treat me like crap and then tell me that I have to make the money for this family and then you're going to beat me on top of that? Heck no! Heck no! No. A real man honors women and knows that he is supposed to be a provider, protector, you know, in terms of the biblical order of things. And then women are supposed to submit to their husbands and honor their husbands. It's quite gorgeous. I'm down for that. I'm so down for that. This is not what it means to be a man. I don't even know if I'm making sense.
You watching some 12-year-old girl, whatever it is, boom, you're under their control. And I think this is what Jeffrey Epstein, all of this stuff is about, getting men who would be in positions of power to acquiesce to some like pedophilic pornography. And then they're under their control. I really believe that.
I think you're right. And there's two things I'm going to say. First, I'm going to say they've checked my hard drives. And I love to say that to everybody who says, Andrew, you're a trafficker. They've literally checked my hard drives. For the last 4 years, my hard drives have been checked. Check the hard drives of 99% of people in the mainstream. Go check their hard drives. Here we are, 4 years into this human trafficking garbage. No one's even seen a video or a picture of a single woman claiming to be human trafficked. Right? It's completely insane. Secondly, you're right. There's also a psychological component, which I think ties into the masculine, because men are built in a way where we like to show dominance, and you show dominance in many different ways. But one of the ways you do it is by having access to things other people can't have access to. So I feel like if you get these losers and then you put them in a position of power for the first time in their life, and then you tell them that nobody's allowed to be a pedophile, but you are, that actually makes it more tempting than it was before. Not because of the pedophilic interest. It's because they're allowed to do something others can't do. And that's a power ego trip, which once again makes it more appealing. It's kind of interesting how the male mind will work. But I know if you take an idiot and you give him some power and say, you can do this, but no one else can, he's going to be tempted by that thing no matter what it is. I mean, that's why men do a lot of things. That's the reason we buy fancy cars. Is it really the car, or is it because other people can't get it? That's the whole point. It's the peacocking. It's like, look what I can do. And amongst their perverse social circles, I guess it's a badge of honor to a degree. Mm-hmm. And then we're also going to talk about the fact that a lot of these men are not particularly attractive and haven't been attractive their whole lives. Like, I have another theory, and once again, I have no data at all to back this up, but I find it very interesting that it's Western politicians which are primarily caught up with these things. Primarily. You know, like you see a Russian billionaire, a Russian oligarch, whatever, and he has a wife, and then he gets caught cheating with his girlfriend. He has some girlfriend somewhere. Cool. And then we'll be like, that's terrible. Yeah, cool, it's terrible, fine. But then what do the Western politicians do? Like, they walk around with Michelle. They walk around with their wife, and then they get caught on islands. So, like, is that any better?
Well,
like, is that worse?
Western politicians gay? That's another thing, and that is what kind of leads me to believe that a lot of these people are being blackmailed and that they're being selected for these positions. I mean, Emmanuel Macron is a homosexual. There's no question about that. Until
about 3 weeks ago, it was during the World Cup, and there was an England game. We were watching it here in Bucharest in like a public area, and there was some American girl, and I went toilet, and on the way out the toilet, she filmed me on TikTok and said, "Human trafficker," on TikTok. And I stopped, and I turned around, and I saw her, and she kind of put her phone away. And I was like, "Did you say that?" She goes, "No." It's like, "You just filmed me, said I'm a human trafficker." She goes, "No." It's like, okay. So anyway, I went right up to her, walked up to her, said, "If you think I'm a human trafficker, you're allowed to say it. You're a girl. I'm not going to hit you. But if you think I'm a human trafficker, you're allowed to say it. I'm just saying, why would you film it and then deny saying it? You don't know my story. I'm happy to tell you if you care. I don't know your story. Why did you film that? Why did you say that?" And she's sitting there with her man, and her man goes, "Oh, I don't think this is necessary." I said, "My friend, you're a man. I will kill you." And I turned back to his girl, and he just sat there and never said another word. He just sat there while I berated his woman. Yeah. Then I went back downstairs. I saw them arguing, and then they left, right? So I guess she got in an argument with her man for not defending her, but the man understood. I can't fight. What can I do?
What are you doing?
What do you do? Yeah, that's right. Another straight homo and some silly woman. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting dynamic. But you say you want a man who will defend you completely, right? Even her, as stupid as she is, and even her loser man, she expected, it's like the expectation you have. And then the card got pulled, and I guess he changed his mind.
Right, exactly. And he probably wasn't happy that she did it.
Of course. It could, well, that's it, right? Because he's like, now why did you put me in a position where I have to die?
Okay. If you're still following this fool, this perverse, rebellious woman, I don't know. I don't know anymore. This is who she's platforming, endorsing, supporting, defending, protecting. Are you kidding me? Let's just touch on the fact, because I've heard this, that in all of their interviews, a common theme that I found, it's so easy for people who have never struggled, right? To say, well, you shouldn't do that. You can't say what you don't know their struggle, and you don't know why they chose to do the things that they do. We all have struggles. The majority of the population is struggling. Talk to any millennial ever. They've been struggling since birth. Are you kidding me? It doesn't give you a pass to act wicked and to do wicked things and hurt people. You don't get a pass just because you're having a rough go of it. This is coming from the fool that sat on the Whatever podcast and berated young women. When she purports to be a Christian, I'm pointing to you, Candace. She purports to be a Christian, and instead of trying to speak to the women with love and guide them and maybe say, listen, girls, this is what I've done. And let me tell you how to come out of it. Or let me tell you what I did. You need help. You need a strong female influence in your life. I want to give you my number. I want to maintain a relationship with you hereafter. That is what a Christian woman would have done. She would have not sat on the panel and berated them and called them whores and said, no man is ever going to want you. This is the same woman. She's now talking to a PDF ex-trafficker and giving him pass. Doesn't even sound like a word anymore. Pass. She really hates women. Oh my gosh. Did we all hear what this Andrew, there are two fools here that I'm looking at. Andrew and Candace. Did everyone hear him say, you tell someone that they can't do, that nobody else is allowed to do something, but they're allowed to do it. They're going to want to do it. Even if they don't have a PDF interest, the fact that you tell them that they're allowed to do it, it's going to pique their interest. And men, I mean, come on, they're just men. Did everyone hear that? So help me. I will lose all faith in the justice system if he is not thrown in jail for life. Him and his brother. You confronted a girl. Okay, she called you an ex-trafficker. Well, hello. You're an alleged ex-trafficker. You've self-disclosed. Anyway, you follow her. You admit that you're berating her. You threaten her man, like, I'm going to kill you if you try to defend your woman. And then you call him a weak man, which I agree, actually. That was a weak man. If you're not going to defend your woman because some man in pilgrim shoes and teeny tiny trousers says, buddy, you want to sit down? I'm a failed boxer. I will destroy you. Okay. Destroy me in the airport or wherever he said he was. I would love that. You'll just be arrested faster. You're not going to talk to my woman like this. Insulted her again. Even this idiot woman deserves wanted someone to protect her. The only idiot that I see, the only idiot woman I see is the one sitting across from you in her own teeny tiny trousers and pilgrim shoes. Who the heck does this guy think he is? And had the nerve to say most of them are not very good looking. The only thing, okay. Honestly, I didn't know that I had such feelings of animosity towards this person. The only thing Andrew has going for him are his muscles and maybe his height. But he looks like a Q-tip in the way he talks. It's, like, what do you have going for you, honey? You have a fancy car. The women I know, they don't give a hoot about your car. The majority of women want a strong man who's kind and compassionate, but not a pushover. Someone who's going to defend the honor of the woman that they're with. Even if she's wrong, you can tell her she's wrong behind closed doors. But when you are in public and someone is coming for your woman, you have one duty, and that is to protect her. And we don't care what kind of car you're driving. So the fact that he could say they're not good looking, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? And then this Yahoo Candace, he's probably upset that she even said anything. Girl, you want to know how many things George is upset with that you say, Candace? I'm sorry, but this wig is everything. Okay. Okay. I've said okay so many times. I might not post this video. Candace has gone on and on about the dangers of pornography. And she has sons, and she doesn't want them to be exposed to pornography. Yet she is protecting a producer of pornography. He produces pornography. He is a self-proclaimed pimp. He offers a pimp and hose degree, baby. Okay? You hate the hoe, but not the pimp? That makes no sense. Come down on OnlyFans models and say there's a number of things that you could do to make money. You don't need to sell your body. But now you're saying, hey, listen, if you've had a rough go of it, you have no room to talk about the things that we have decided to do in life or the wrongs that we've committed. Like, you don't know our struggle. Okay. Let's move on to Michael Knowles because he's sickened me as well. I've had it with all of them.
The Crown Prosecution Service released a statement, this is out of the UK, said that it was seeking extradition for the two brothers, aiming to bring them to Britain to face a total of 59 charges. This coming after, obviously, they were charged in Romania. According to Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas from the Bedfordshire Police, she said this was a complex investigation that involved, quote, national and international law enforcement. Quote, we understand the interest that this case will generate, but we would urge the public not to speculate and to allow the legal process to be carried out correctly. Quote, there is no place for male violence against women and girls, and we will continue to work tirelessly to support victims and investigate all reports made to us. Is that so? I guess we should celebrate. Forget about the Tates for a second. We should celebrate that the UK is finally, after how many years, after how many decades, arresting Muslims for grooming and raping girls. Wow, all right, that's about time. I didn't know the UK had it in them. But this quote here, there is no place for male violence against women and girls. We will continue to work tirelessly. Are you kidding me? The United Kingdom, more than any other government on earth, is infamous for neglecting the grooming, the sex trafficking, the rape of young girls. The reason I keep bringing the Muslims up is because in the UK, the kinds of grooming and mass rape that the British police were neglecting, it was all being done by Muslims almost. Pakistani Muslim immigrants, and because of political correctness, they didn't want to prosecute them. They wouldn't believe the girls. Some of the girls were murdered by these guys. Some of the girls killed themselves. So, okay. What about the Tate brothers? Well, the charges seem plausible. The guys have been pretty open about running essentially internet prostitution rings, and there's videotape of them being kind of rough with girls. And so, it definitely seems plausible. They did move to Romania. Not a lot of good things happen in Romania. So, it all seems plausible. But I don't want to let the UK off the hook for the bigger issue here. What about the Pakistani rape gangs? What about the fact that the United Kingdom has two-tier policing? Overtly two-tier policing. You saw the guidance from the College of Policing. You saw the race action plan from the UK police, where they said you basically need to let Pakistani rapists off the hook because we don't want colorblind policing, because we don't want to be racist, because we need to focus on the real problems, which are white fragility and racism or whatever. So, okay, the new rule is the UK will not prosecute Muslim rapists, accused rapists, unless they're red pill celebrities, unless they're TikTok influencers. Okay, all right, that's fine. The Tates will get their day in court and there will be an investigation. Okay, but what about all the other guys? What about all the guys that are in the UK right now who have been grooming and raping girls? Is the UK going to do anything about that? No, they're just going to focus on the Twitter celebrities. Okay, all right. Well, that's something, I guess.
He totally belittled every experience from the Tate brothers' victims in saying that. 59 counts. Okay, those women matter as well. All of it is important, actually, Michael. It's all disgraceful. The UK, that is disgraceful if they've allowed those crimes to go unpunished and they're well aware of them because they don't want to seem racist or bigoted, whatever the case may be. That's awful. All of it is bad. Every single occurrence is bad. But what the Tate brothers have done and continue to do is horrific. And consider their reach. Was Andrew Tate not the most Googled person in the world a couple years ago? Were young men not flocking to him to learn the lover boy method? Teaching these men how to hurt women, all the while making money from women that he has abused by selling them on webcams, selling their services. Millions and millions of followers, millions and millions of accounts that share clips of him. What are you talking about? All of it matters. You couldn't even dig deep to celebrate the fact that for at least a moment, they're off the street and there's a glimmer of hope that justice may be served and they may be thrown into prison forever. No, you want to mock that and say, well, I guess that's good. You come after the TikTok celebrities. When he said there's video of him getting a little rough with a woman, she was 15 and he was beating her, whipping her, grabbing her hair, pulling her head back. What are you talking about? How about it's bad to rape women, period. Any form, any way, any method. It's bad. But no. He essentially is saying it's ridiculous to arrest the Tate brothers because they're just celebrities. I mean, they like to drive their fancy cars and, wear their pants a little too tight and talk about, it's fun being a man, having all these hoes. But, just let them be. They're not the problem. It's the Pakistani Muslims that are the problem. It's all a problem. Every single piece of it. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Requires outrage. The public should be outraged at this. The UK, that is deplorable. I will never go there. I'm not surprised. Because you support Candace. Show me who your friends are, I'll show you who you are. Women, there are still good men in this world, and it's an honor to serve a good man. Scripture tells us, wives, submit to your husbands. And it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. That is a big charge right there. That's a big call. Love your wives as Christ loved the church. I think that's a bit harder, right? Than submitting It's easier to submit to a good man. He has to be willing to die for you the way Christ died for us. If there are any men watching, there are still good women out there who don't give a hoot if you have a fancy car or the biggest house on the block or a six-pack or any of the stuff that Andrew Tate claims women are seeking. There are still good women out there who will honor you and want to take care of you and value you. Okay, so please don't look to these people to tell you what's out there and what they want and what you should be. Please, please, just don't. Let me tell you where you're going to find your identity. Your identity needs to be found in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, who is God incarnate, born of a virgin, walked this earth sinless, tempted as we are, but never sinned, took a sinner's punishment, a punishment that we are all worthy of because we are all sinners. Worthy of death and hell, there is no one good, no, not one. Jesus Christ laid down his life. Nobody took it from him. He willingly laid it down and took a horrible, long, gruesome, agonizing, humiliating punishment. And after he was killed, he was put into a tomb, and on the third day, that tomb was empty because he resurrected in body from the dead. And people testified to seeing him after he resurrected in body from the dead. He's not here, he is risen. And those people were willing to die for their testimonies of having seen and been with Jesus. He ascended to the right hand of the Father, where he now reigns, and he is coming back soon. And he loves you. And he knew you before you were born. He knit you together in your mother's womb. He knows the plans that he has for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. He loves you. And that is where our identity is found. It doesn't matter what this world says about you or tries to offer you. What good is it to gain the world and forfeit your soul? Don't fear the world. Don't fear the one who can destroy the body and after that do nothing to you. Fear the one who can destroy your both soul and body, which is the Lord God Almighty. Don't look to these people for life advice. Don't. Turn to Scripture. Turn to Scripture. Call on the Lord. Cast your anxieties on him because he cares for you, and he will get you through. He's the only one. That is the model for man, is Jesus Christ.